Hello, everyone, and welcome to Learn English with Stories. Today, I'm going to tell you a story about starting again when you think life is over. It's about love, loss, and courage. The story of a woman who lost everything and still found herself again. My name is Emma Carter, and this is my story.
5 years ago, I thought I had everything I ever wanted. I lived in a small apartment in Brooklyn with my husband David and our little girl Lily. Our mornings started with laughter, burnt toast, and coffee that never tasted the same twice. Life wasn't perfect, but it was ours, full of small, happy moments. I used to work as a freelance designer from home. David worked at a small construction company. We didn't have much money, but we had dreams. We used to talk about buying a little house one day, somewhere near the park where Lily loved to play. One rainy Friday evening, David left for work as usual. He kissed me on the forehead and said, "Don't wait up. It might be a late night." I smiled and said, "Just be careful. I'll keep dinner warm." That was the last time I ever saw him. The phone rang around 11 p.m. A voice on the other end said words that didn't make sense at first. "There's been an accident. We're so sorry." I remember dropping the phone. The sound of it hitting the floor was louder than anything else in the room. My world went silent. The next few days were a blur. The funeral, the people, the condolences. But after everyone left, silence filled the apartment again. Just me, Lily, and the echo of everything we lost. She was only 7. She didn't understand death. She asked me, "Mom, when is Daddy coming home?" And I didn't have the strength to answer. Weeks passed. Then months. The bills didn't stop. Rent notices started piling up. I couldn't focus on work anymore. Every time I tried to design something, my hands would shake. I stopped answering calls, stopped talking to friends, stopped believing that tomorrow would be better. Some nights, I sat on the floor beside Lily's bed, watching her sleep, whispering, "I'm sorry, baby. I don't know how to fix this." One morning, I looked in the mirror and didn't recognize the woman staring back. Pale face, messy hair, eyes that had forgotten what hope looked like. That was the day I decided to walk out, not away from life, but towards something new. I called Sarah, my best friend since college. We hadn't spoken in months. When she heard my voice, she cried. She came over that evening holding groceries and a big smile. She said, "Emma, you've been through hell, but you're still here. That means something." She handed me a cup of tea and said, "You don't have to figure out everything today. Just start with one thing." That night, I didn't cry. For the first time in months, I slept peacefully. The next morning, I walked outside for the first time in weeks. The city was the same, loud, fast, full of strangers, but I felt different. I wanted to try again. I found a small cafe near my apartment that had a "Help Wanted" sign. I hesitated, then walked in. The owner, an older man named Mr. Wilson, smiled and said, "We're always looking for kind people. Can you start tomorrow?" That cafe became my second home. I worked mornings, took Lily to school, and spent evenings sketching design ideas again. Customers became friends. I began to laugh again. Small laughs at first, then real ones. Life was still hard, but it was moving forward. And sometimes that's all we need. 1 year later, I launched a small online shop selling handmade art and design prints. It didn't make much at first, but every sale gave me hope. I worked hard, really hard. There were nights when I felt like giving up again, but then I'd hear Lily laugh in her sleep, and I'd remember why I started. Slowly, things began to change. People started noticing my work online. Orders came in from other states. I saved enough to move into a better apartment. One evening, Lily hugged me and said, "Mom, you're smiling again." I realized she was right. I was. Now, when I look back, I don't see the pain anymore. I see the strength it gave me. Losing David broke me, but rebuilding my life made me who I am. Sometimes life destroys us to rebuild us stronger. Sometimes we have to lose everything to find ourselves. If you're going through a dark time right now, remember my story. It's okay to fall. It's okay to break. What matters is that you stand up again, even if your hands are shaking. Thank you for listening to my story on Learn English with Stories. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe. New stories every week, stories that help you learn English and maybe learn about life too.